I've been a woman working in a man's field for a little over 40 years now, and I have not yet decided, as I come close to retirement, whether I want a tattoo of a phoenix or a groundhog. My first job was at Exxon. As I have always said, when I write my book, I'm not changing any names because there's no innocent to protect. They came up with a fabulous project for me that I loved. Nobody else wanted to do it. Mathematical modeling, how to crack heavy oils into smaller ones. I went right to it. It was going great. The guys I was working with started turning in these things called patent ideas that establishes their credit on the patent. But they left my name off. One of them also sat in my office and went on and on about my legs and how we needed to take a trip together. You know, this was the pre-Me Too movement. So I finally decided, you know what? When they decided to take the job that I was working on away from me because it was much too successful for my group and this other group that was seen very highly by the president had not had any successes, they needed my project. I ranted and railed in my boss's office, and he said, oh, you know, every project has 1,000 fathers, and I yelled, but they only have one mother. It didn't do any good. So what did I do? I went to work for Mobile. I must admit that on the way out, I went into my boss and said, oh, by the way, since I didn't work on this project and had nothing to do with it, I guess I can work on it at Mobile. But I went to Mobile and I was just all, okay, that was a bad experience, but this is gonna be great. I came up with this idea for this whole new apparatus to study kinetics. I did nearly blow myself up one night with some hydrogen, but I received an award. It was a secret award. They would call you and say, you got $1,000 for being innovative, but don't tell anybody. 3 months later, I was, for some reason, in the crosshairs of my boss and being transferred to a dead-end job, and my beautiful unit was going to somebody else. So what did I do? I went to medical school. I said, you know what? I don't want to do research anymore. I'm gonna go deliver babies on horseback in North Dakota and get paid in chickens. I went through 10 years of training. I hated OBGYN. As a scientist, I ended up in the most scientific of the disciplines, pathology. I was happy. 10 years later, I'm a junior attending, a young professor at a major university, Vanderbilt. They said, we need to be able to get all our data for our molecular research into cancer. I said, well, you need to start with a good tissue database. Oh, well, how do you do that? Well, I have some ideas. So I put this thing together, everybody loved it. So did this guy who wanted my job. Before I knew it, he was in charge of it, and I was very persona non grata. I went to another institution, and let me just say that was my lost weekend. I spent a year there and said, I can't take this place. So I came here to work. They said, you know, we've been trying to work on this tissue bank system, and it's just not working. I said, my thing, baby. And one person said to me, hey, this is Texas. Everybody here does it their own way. Don't even think of getting in and getting them all on the same program. And I'm like, challenge on. And you know what? I got them all on the same program. I did it. But you know what? This guy came into town, and he decided that this should be his project. And after about 6 weeks of meeting, I go to this meeting, and now it's his project. And he's even gonna get a salary supplement for doing it. And he even says, I don't know how to do this. And everybody looks at me to say, hey, well, and I was just, are you kidding? So I went back down and hunkered down and just did my work and said, you know, that's it. I'm getting close to retirement, just let it go. But I joined up with some women professionals that I know and kind of got networked in. And now I'm working with the College of American Pathologists. I'm the chair of the Pathology Electronic Reporting Committee. I'm a member of their Council on Scientific Affairs. I'm the chair of their informatics cluster, and I was just named to be an advisor on an advisory committee to the CDC for lab testing. So I'm still trying to decide. Phoenix, groundhog. Phoenix, groundhog. Thank you.